You're welcome to move closer in and not be all by yourself out there. We kind of like everybody to be, especially singing. It's if you're game, or even put a chair right there and nobody, you're not in front of anybody.
So welcome everyone. Those of you who are
Yeah.
here for the first time, welcome, welcome. This is Stone Mountain and Klein, Harvey, Aronson. We are the resident teachers. It's first Sunday, so we give a talk at 10:30 and we have meditation at 11. On the walls are various historic and divine figures meant to remind us of some positive qualities that we aspire to develop, usually hovering around wisdom and compassion. And so on Sunday mornings, we do a very, very simple meditation. We actually do two simple meditations. One is breathing and one is chanting. And while we didn't exactly talk about it before we got here, both Anne and I have, in a way, wanted to talk about something similar. There are two big words in English, doing and being. And our culture and our city, and most of us are pretty great at doing. And as we progress scientifically in modern era, we all get better at doing many things. In fact, we are praised for multitasking and expanding our bandwidth and higher productivity. But I think we all, in a way, sense that there's something not quite, as we say in Texas, rot about that. And that as humans, many of us have some sense there is something deeper, more profound, more ultimately satisfying. And through the ages, various religious and spiritual traditions have certainly addressed that, and we have our ways of addressing how do we arrive at that something that is deeper, more profound, and more satisfying. And that those states which are deeper, more satisfying, more profound, can in a kind of large way be associated with being states. They're states of being, or states of realization, or states of fruition, or awareness, radiant mind, or Buddha mind. Now, of course, many philosophers and practitioners and religious scholars spend their whole lives arguing about which of those words is right and who owns which words, but luckily we don't have to here. And I just want to suggest before we practice that we're going to use doing, which will consist of either focusing our attention or chanting, to ease into a more state of being. One of the paradoxes of states of being is that you can't exactly do them. You can't exactly force them. You can't create them. You can't order them. They're not digital. You can't go to the shelf on at Kroger's and say, I want a being state. I want a state of profundity, calmness, illumination, wisdom. We kind of put the ingredients together and put our cake in the oven and spend some time in the oven, and then we pull out a wonderful cake, and the cake is the cake of being. We don't know exactly when it's going to be done. And so there's a kind of dynamic between doing and being, and we want to do any doing that we do with a kind of openness towards being, and we want to become ever more receptive to just how what we do impacts us. And whatever it is, just being able to be aware of how we are affected by what is happening in our lives is going to be, because it's permeated by awareness, a state of being. So how do we do that in practice? We do two different practices. One is we place our attention on our breathing and we rest in the process of breathing. So we're just resting in the process of breathing. Now, initially, when people are new to meditation and they start doing this, sometimes people even get a little bit frustrated, scared, upset, because they notice that their mind is a bit of a laugh riot, and they're coming here to quiet down, and they're placing their attention on their breath and resting in their breathing, and all of a sudden they're noticing every thought and every feeling and every twitch of reactivity. And part of that is just because we're becoming clearer. And so don't get too concerned if, as you place your mind on your breathing and you rest in breathing, if it seems like your mind is even noisier than before. But I would ask you to sort of just touch into yourself and how you feel at the beginning of this whole process. And then we're going to take a break in about 20-25 minutes, how you'll be feeling at the end of that 25 minutes in your mind and your body. The other process that we do is we use the sacred syllable Hung, which represents the wisdom and compassion and kindness of all the Buddhas. And we chant Hung Hung in our own pace, putting our mind, our attention, our awareness into the sound. Mind, breath, awareness, again melting into the sound, Hung Hung. Again, there may be thoughts, there may be feelings. We don't pay attention to them. If we completely lose our way in a complete distraction, we just gently bring our attention back. We don't beat ourselves, we don't evaluate, we just notice. Been distracted, coming back. And we oscillate, and in it all, just be very, very gently aware of how you're being affected. Awareness is a being state. So as we're being aware, our being aware, being and awareness are being deepened and made more profound and clearer. So we will start with placing our attention and on our breath and resting with that. Ideally, you're sitting with your back somewhat straight. Your chin can be tucked a little bit. Your hands can be on your lap like this, or they can be on your knees like this, wherever it's comfortable. If you're finding you're really falling asleep, you can just maybe open your eyes a little bit, but not soft focus. If you want to have your eyes closed, you can do that as well. Just gently put your attention on the breath and then rest in the process of breathing. Just completely melting into that process of breathing. Feel into every detail of breathing in and breathing out. But from the inside, not from a very distant observer perspective, but actually being the breath, resting in the breath. Have your breathing be central, and any thoughts or feelings that are occurring, just let them be on the sidelines. See if you can not follow them, not take them seriously. And just take a minute or so to rest completely, and just don't even try to forcibly attend to your breathing. Just take in the panorama of the space around us, and your body as a kind of whole. And just sense how your mind is, how your body is, and how the space is. Can you get a kind of holistic sense of what's the sense of being right now? How are you being? Without trying to tinker with yourself. Just take a few moments and just sense into your experience. Just be with yourself in a very gentle manner and see how the space is, how your body is, how your mind is. With a light touch. And now we resume the attention to the breath by placing our attention on the breathing and then gently resting in the process of breathing, letting any thoughts, emotions, sensations just come and go. Our gentle focus is resting in the breathing. To get thoroughly distracted, when we become aware of that, we just gently bring our attention back to resting in the breathing. So now rest without even making any effort at resting in your breath, and just allow yourself to be. Our deepest nature is got elements of panoramic awareness and clarity and openness and spaciousness. And just, we over time bounce closer and closer. We bounce closer and closer. Just sense what's the space in the room like? What's the space of your mind like? What's the space of your body like? In a non-tinkering way, with a light touch, how are you being right now? Just allow being aware, being. Large, global, panoramic. We will have a 10-minute break. There are some refreshments outside. Please help yourselves.
Dawn Mountain offers traditional Buddhist teachings primarily in the Tibetan tradition in a way that is accessible to contemporary Americans. Having studied and practiced for many years under recognized Tibetan masters, and understanding that these teachings provide a way to realize the natural state of mind that embodies profound wisdom and deep love, Anne Klein and Harvey Aronson wished to share these traditions here in the United States. As a result, they established Dawn Mountain in June 1996, based on the core belief that it is possible to cultivate a better understanding of our deepest nature, which in turn facilitates new levels of mental calm and self-acceptance.
So our inspiration really comes from our love and gratitude to our own teachers. They spent so much time and care with us over many, many years.
Kaizen Rinpoche was extraordinarily compassionate. He had a terrific sense of humor. And just his ability to be present and immediate and just there. Adzon Rinpoche is extraordinarily compassionate and grounded.
And we've had extraordinary experiences with Adzon Rinpoche, whom I met in Tibet in 96. And I've had many hours of just, one-on-one conversation, a person who has tens of thousands of students to attend to. Okay, there's this wealth of cultural wisdom in Tibet. It's encoded in texts, in practices, in rituals, in art, and many people in the West are attracted to it, and yet Westerners are Westerners. We're Westerners. We're not monastics. We may dedicate our lives to practice in our heart of hearts, but we have families, we have jobs, we have all kinds of responsibilities. So how can we communicate and really experience transformation through these practices? For that, some kind of bridging is necessary. We're also a community center, nonprofit community center, which is the hub of our work extending life skills, the life skills of cultivating calm, of cultivating ease in life, of cultivating kindness.
What did you do today that you liked?
Make the glittery thing to show your anger.
And what happened when you shook up the glittery thing?
It made me feel a little bit like I wanted to meditate in peace.
And then the Research Institute is where we look at what we can provide by way of information gained through research for the interested public. So we've mentioned that our own teachings here, which are drawn from work that we've done, our own translation work, our own study, and so forth, some of these will start appearing as pamphlets for practitioners here, and some of them will become books that will be published and will be widely available to the larger public. And I am right now in the process of gathering a team to translate a text from this tradition, which he powerfully feels and which I also have a very, very strong wish to see translated. And we hope to do more of that. We've seen people telling us how their lives have changed, how their lives are improved, the comfort, the inspiration that they feel coming to Dawn Mountain. We really are inspired to envision a way that Dawn Mountain becomes a stable beacon and place of gathering for people who wish to practice at whatever level.
I trust the teachings. I feel in the place. I feel that I am constantly fed.
And I can feel my breathing better because of the way my legs are positioned.
How long have you been sitting like that?
I learned it when I started coming here.
And it's not only been in the spiritual sense, but also in every aspect of my daily life. I feel that I'm less stressed out. I don't get as angry or as depressed as I used to.
It's good. It teaches me how to kind of relax and be mindful and help with school and stuff like that whenever I get aggravated.
One of our projects that has come to partial fruition is that we have developed a curriculum, which is posted on our website, that explains the open matrix of what a spiritual path can be supported here at Dawn Mountain.
We've slowly become aware of the power of the media, and it is clear now that there is great interest in both our broadcasts from here, and from time to time we might be able to have broadcasts from Asia with Adzom Rinpoche or his sister Anila. Without students, there are no teachers, and without teachers, there are no students. We all dependently create one another. So we're very, very excited by the energy that is in the community. The community is alive, it is supportive, it is growing, and it really wishes to thrive, and we want to participate in that thriving in every way that we can. But we're really talking about finding a space of shared values. And if individuals share the values that we have in terms of coming to a deep appreciation of our innermost nature, then come and participate. That's the most significant thing that we can do together. Just sharing our participation is lovely and meaningful. And anything above and beyond that by way of offering service for this community, offering financial, flows naturally. And we expect that that will just be a natural outflow for people because of that shared interest.
Dawn Mountain offers traditional Buddhist teachings primarily in the Tibetan tradition in a way that is accessible to contemporary Americans. Having studied and practiced for many years under recognized Tibetan masters, and understanding that these teachings provide a way to realize the natural state of mind that embodies profound wisdom and deep love, Anne Klein and Harvey Aronson wish to share these traditions here in the United States. As a result, they established Dawn Mountain in June 1996, based on the core belief that it is possible to cultivate a better understanding of our deepest nature, which in turn facilitates new levels of mental calm and self-acceptance.
So our inspiration really comes from our love and gratitude to our own teachers. They spent so much time and care with us over many, many years.
Kaizen Rinpoche was extraordinarily compassionate. He had a terrific sense of humor. And just his ability to be present and immediate and just there. Adzon Rinpoche is extraordinarily compassionate and grounded.
And we've had extraordinary experiences with Adzon Rinpoche, whom I met in Tibet in 96. And I've had many hours of just, one-on-one conversation, a person who has tens of thousands of students to attend to.
Okay. So we will resume with the thing that I want to maybe emphasize is that it's a kind of a rocking motion between effort and effortlessness, intentionality and resting, doing and being. And because we're so workistic in our culture and our personalities, it's hard for us to kind of let go. And it's also hard to appreciate that, everything that's said about meditation is true, but it's like you got to know when to do it. So some people just say let go, and some people say let go and let God. It's very, very apt. It's also, there are a lot of instructions on how to do meditation, and those are very, very apt as well. And if you can mix the process of attending and easing, it's a very, very profound entree into practice. So we will start with some breathing. We'll do some short mix of sessions. I've got new hearing aids and this thing really gets to them. Start with just placing your attention on the breath and resting in the process of breathing. Just take a few moments to now just be, rest, allow yourself to sense what's happening in the room, your body, and your mind. A light touch. Just actually, what is your experience? Just allow yourself to sense how you're being right now. Just space to be, just for a few moments. And again, gently place your attention on your breath and rest in the process of breathing. And gently just allow yourself to let go of the meditation and just be in this space. Allow yourself to sense the space, your body, your mind, your emotions. How are you? Just as an open, clear, light sensing what's happening without trying to change anything. David, could you also light the candle? So on this sheet we will do the dedication, and then we'll do a blessing for everyone here and everyone in the book and everyone in everywhere. By this good may I swiftly once become a great guru, lead all beings, everyone, to reach to that very ground. Then we do the blessing. With all of you in mind we light this lamp of clarity. May the glow of love, wisdom shine within us, everyone, till we all rise forth born in one enlightened mandala.
And wishing to share our goodness with all beings everywhere, and especially today for Adam, victims of wars, animals, Eileen Strong, broken hip, recovering from cancer, grieving, Gary Strong in the Bardo, Jenna Wood, Melissa Ann Weimer in the Bardo, Elizabeth, Alma Montez, Joe Montez, Ada Di Persia, Joan, Luke, Cameron, Laura, Michelle, Dwayne and Gloria, Barbara Quackenbush, Dominica, Julie, Raphael, Raoul, Gus, Holly, Brent, Anna Sullivan, Dolly, Christy, for health, Saskia and family, people of Puerto Rico, Mexico, Jan Goodman, Barbara, Tenku, Max Panzer, Michelle Panzer. Send out our light to our whole body, to everybody in the room and everyone everywhere. For those of you who might be interested in further exploring the ballet of seeing and being, Lama Tenzin Sumvel, senior student of one of our main teachers, will be offering a retreat the first weekend of October. And he will read... Oh yeah, November. And he'll be opening for us a very beautiful text by one of the great figures of the Tibetan tradition, Mipam Rinpoche. And it's really kind of about this. It's about abiding and moving and then just being aware. So if you're interested in that, please ask us about it if you have questions, register. I think is registration available. If not, it will be soon. No, consider that.
We have a retreat next week. On the weekend, it's a Tibetan Buddhist practice. It's really for people who have some familiarity already with Tibetan Buddhist practice. If you happen to be interested in that and have not already registered, you can talk with us. Apply. It has to be applied for, but you could come up and talk with us if you have some interest, and we could let you know if it seems to be a good fit. We have a women's program ongoing, correct? Is that?
Yes.
Go ahead.
We have a women's meditation circle that meets every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and it's by donation, and Simone is kind of holding the space, but we hope that this will be eventually kind of a leaderless, organic circle. We have been using some guided online meditations, but there's also plenty of time for silent sitting and a little bit of sharing, and it's just a beautiful opportunity to kind of relax and reflect and meditate and connect. Please come. So in addition to Lama Tenzin, we also have the October newsletter will be out in the next 48 hours, and I commend it to your attention because there is much going on. We have a wonderful event that we are presenting with the Baylor College of Medicine about the intersection between mental health and spirituality in the experience of bereavement and grief. And Mark and Harvey have worked really, really hard to organize a beautiful panel. There will be medical students here, but the public is invited. So we hope to have a strong showing of Dawn Mountain folks, and that is going to be on October 11th, which is...
It's a Wednesday.
Wednesday, thank you.
At 6:30.
6:30.
Doctor time.
Also, we have... well, if you feel like you would like to volunteer for Dawn Mountain and you're not already doing so to your fullest capacity, if you have any extra capacity for volunteering on behalf of Dawn Mountain, I would like very much to talk with you. And this immediately following meditation, we're going to run some cables over the ceiling for this fabulous new speaker mount and one that is going to appear this week over on that side. So if you're game to climb up a ladder and throw a wire, that'd be awesome. We'll get started as soon as the space is empty. Thank you.
Thank you so
you
much.
all. Thank
and
you all
thank
for
you
coming
for
and-
mentioning the volunteers. We run on volunteer energy, so we appreciate anything that's possible. Thank you for coming. Have a great week.
We
Remember
acknowledge-
that you have being to surface at any moment during the day.
We acknowledge that you have braved football traffic to
Right.
come here. And there are some occasions in the fall that is the case. And that's part of our reality. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy the fall weather.